some of this is the work that the teacher would have probably done, in terms of providing feedback for the student. And then on the other hand, some of this is the work that the student would have done insofar as doing some of the thinking with respect to what goes into the writing. And so I guess if you have a software like Grammarly that is doing some of the work of the teacher, some of the work of the student, where do you think education is going here 3, 4, 5 years from now? How is it going to change? Aren't you just doing their jobs?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe two different points there. So when we talk about the teacher side and the student side separately, on the teacher side, I do think the role of teachers has changed dramatically, not just in the last couple of years, but over the last decade. I mean, I was at Google running the YouTube team when the advent of taking all your lecture materials online became a real thing. And nowadays it's very typical that many of the classes at colleges are actually broadcast online for free. And it completely changed what do you pay for in college? Are you paying for going to the lecture? Are you paying for something else? And I think that was a massive step forward for education, but it had to really change the definition of what a teacher does. The teacher's
Hmm.
job is not the lecture. The teacher's job is the assistance. It's the work with the student. I think in this case, we're seeing yet another step of that. And I think what we're going to see is professors act a little bit more like the term I use is digital twins. And we work with a lot of different universities. Most of the large ones are customers or partners of ours. And I think the what we hear from them regularly is that while in some senses what's happening with AI is scary, it's also a huge opportunity to bring a teacher directly into your experience. So today you can think of Grammarly as your high school grammar teacher sitting right next to you,
Right.
and it's very effective. It really not only does it help you do your work, it helps you learn. You learn all the patterns as you go. Now imagine instead of today you have a class, you get an assignment. 3 weeks later, you submit the assignment, you get back feedback. What if that happened every minute? What if as you were working, it wasn't just your grammar teacher, it was your history
Right.
teacher, your chemistry teacher, so on, working right alongside you? Um, I think on the other side, on students, I think that since technology started, even with calculators, we've always had a dynamic of there are tools that help students in a way that could be used to circumvent learning. And it's very important to take a balanced approach. Like I think just because we have calculators doesn't mean we don't teach kids arithmetic. And in some cases, you'll take a test and say, no calculators allowed. And other times you'll say, actually, in the real world, you have a calculator. And so it's pretty important for you to learn what it's like with a calculator too. And I think it's the same thing we're seeing with AI for students is that there are cases where schools are adjusting to say, we want you to be able to learn and work without these tools. But also, they're leaning into, in the real world, you really need to be able to use these tools well. So these are cases where we want you to use them actually even more and learn how you can apply them in your work.